Welcome back to my channel. This will be a tarot unboxing. First, I want to mention that the Vlogmas video that I talked about in my previous one, that I was having issues being able to upload, technical difficulty, blah, blah, blah. I will be refilming that. I most likely will not be labeling it a Vlogmas video, though. So there's that. Okay, so I want to unbox the Gill Tarot. And this is most definitely I watched, the Hermit's Cave channel, and a while back he did an unboxing. Did he do a comparison of the two editions of the Gill Tarot? I can't remember. Whatever it was, this is definitely a Simon made me do it kind of thing. So, I did start take off the wrapping so it was easier. And let's see. So here's, okay, so I took the plastic off to make it easier, but I can't get the box open. Like, what's the deal? Okay, here it is. Wow. All right. And I did get this on Amazon. So it comes with a little white book. And let's see. It says like an introduction, the structure of the Gill Tarot, Gill Tarot layout. Oh, pardon. And then it goes into the major arcana, and then the minor arcana. And then that's pretty much it. And then there's a little back 2 pages for notes. Okay, so some more shrink wrap. Oh, well, I should have just opened up all the plastic on that to see that there was shrink wrap in here. To get the shrink wrap. Okay, there we go. Woohoo! All right. So we have here the title card. Ooh, the title card. And here's what the backs look like. And then here's a layout guide, which I'm going to say that's the Kabbalah. Looks like it. I'm going to say it is. I don't know much about Kabbalah and stuff. That's another thing. That's more on my list of things that I want to learn about. So it looks like on the back of the cards that there are Hebrew letterings, as well as the 4 suits. You have a tree of life as well. And then a phrase at the bottom of the cards on the backs that says, "And I see men as trees walking." Very interesting. Okay. So like I said, I am not familiar with the Kabbalah. I am not familiar with Hebrew letterings, things like that. So I am very much not familiar with the Thoth system, which I think this is supposed to be based off of, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, just don't quote me on that. So here's the Fool. And the cardstock is really sturdy. It's a really sturdy cardstock. It makes for a thick deck. So, but it's small enough, I think, that I should be able to shuffle. When I say small, I mean like, the lengthwise, height wise, however you want to say it. So I feel like I shouldn't have a difficult time shuffling. It is not a glossy deck, but I really like the imagery, and I gotta tell you, I've seen this deck a time or two on YouTube, and I was always back and forth, like, I like that deck. Oh, do I really want to get that deck? Because there's so many decks that I really want to get, especially self-published decks that many of them I just can't afford. And I don't know if I can start putting away some money for some of those self-published decks, but my issue is by the time I can buy a self-published deck, a lot of the times they're out of print already. It's like, you know, I'll say, oh, I really like that deck. And 4 months later, oh, nope, sold out. Like, oh, come on. And it's just so frustrating for me because, I'm not working. My husband is, he's, working and things like that. So it's hard for me to save money because, he has to cover everything. But I really love, one of the things that I really liked about this deck is that I do like the artwork, but I love the color scheme in this deck. And some of the colors like kind of pastel-y, some are, I mean, the coloring is pretty vibrant to me, but I do like some of those pastel colors as well. As far as pip decks go, it's not that I'm not a fan, because I do have a few. It's just that because I'm learning how to read tarot, pips don't help me, you know what I mean? But what I like about this deck is that you do get keywords. So for me, that's helpful. Like, okay, this card I could quite easily be able to tell, obviously, without the aid. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. This holiday week is just, yeah. Anyways, without the aid of the word for this, I could get, but, and not even just the fact that they're pips, that the words are helpful for me, but whatever the card is, having that keyword is helpful for me. So I'm really grateful for that, and that was another reason why I wanted to get this deck. Looking at it, would I trim this deck? I don't want to be like a trim happy person. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I gotta trim every deck. I gotta trim this. I gotta trim this deck. I probably, as of right now, I probably would not trim it because the borders to me are not obtrusive. They're not bothering me, nor are the card size too large to where I can't handle it. Like, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the tarot. Not the Everyday Tarot. Oh, I showed a video of it before. Those cards were so huge for my hand that I had to trim that deck. And they're still kind of big for my hand, but it's a little bit more manageable for me now that I've trimmed it. There are some decks that they might not be big for my hands, but when I see how it looks trimmed, I'm like, okay, it speaks more to me trimmed. So those are basically my two reasons for if I trim a deck. So it's not an arbitrary thing for me where it's like, oh, gotta trim it, gotta trim it. Sometimes it's that the cards, I feel they speak more to me. The pictures jump out more to me when it's trimmed, or a matter of these cards are just too ginormous for my hands, and I just can't handle it. So this deck, I think, is fine the way it is. I'm not feeling like, oh, I gotta trim it. Now, if I see videos of the Gill tarot trimmed, and I'm like, wow, I'm digging that more trimmed, you know, then that's something I might do then. But as of right now, I'm perfectly content with how they are now. So I won't trim them. But I don't know. This artwork, I mean, yeah, I was back and forth with it a lot, but I don't know. I guess when I finally saw Simon's video, and I honestly can't even begin to tell you what it was that made me be like, oh yeah, gotta get it, because I've had it on my wish list on Amazon for a while too, and then I would move it to my cart, and then I would move it to save later, and then I would move it back to my wish list, and then I would just go through that cycle over and over and over, and then I finally was like, no, I gotta get this deck. Plus, I would have been truly upset with myself because this has happened for several decks for me that I didn't get it, and then it was no longer available on Amazon. I was like, you could only get used ones, which they want to charge you an arm and a leg for, you know. That happened with the, I cannot pronounce it, the Jiparitz? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Tarot. And that was another one where I was like back and forth, back and forth. And then I watched Simon's video on it, and I was like, oh yeah, I like that deck. I've seen it trimmed, and I'm like, oh yeah, I really. And then I would put it in the cart, and I'm like, and I'd hold off, and it kept on, and then finally, when I was like, yes, I want it, couldn't get it. It was like, I think 60 something, 70 something dollars a time. I don't know how much it is now, but then, you know, and so I'm going from, I could have paid like almost $30 to double, like, oh man, you know, and it's hard for me to shell out that much, you know. I gotta know, like, I gotta plan. Like, I have to plan. I have to know, okay, for this month my budget is blah blah blah, because I budget for groceries and all of that stuff, you know. And then I'll, you know, discuss with my husband, hey, can I get such and such, blah 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 blah. And so I had it budgeted, because I was like, okay, this next month I'm gonna get it. I had it budgeted. No, you know, especially if it's a expensive deck. Like right now, I'm in between. Do I want that Alice Tarot deck from Dame Darcy? Because some cards I'm like, oh, I like that, and then some I'm like, you know. And I have from Mermaid Tarot, which I finally got. I don't know how many editions later, from the first edition that went out of print, and I really liked that first edition, you know. And not that I'm not happy with the one I have. The cardstock is thicker, so it's difficult for me to shuffle how I like to shuffle. I like rifle shuffling. Rifle shuffling? You know what I mean. Anyways, yeah, so I like this deck. The cards, let me see. Can I shuffle? I can shuffle. Now they are a little stiff, I will say. And that's, you know, due to, like I said, the cardstock. It's, you know, pretty sturdy. So, like, see, like, I feel like I make a mess going hand over hand. I don't look graceful like I've seen a lot of tarot readers on YouTube look when they shuffle hand over hand. I'm a card player, you know, grew up a card player, and so rifle shuffling is like, that's my, you know, thing. I think after a few shuffles, it'll be fine, but it shuffles nicely. I really like it. I really like this deck. Really happy with it. So, so yeah, so that is the Gill Tarot. And who was it by? Does it say on here? And it says it includes 80 cards. So there's extra cards in this deck. Elizabeth Josephine Gill. And it's by published by U.S. Games. Yeah, so it says that the deck is based on the Kabbalic Tree of Life and follows the structure of the Thoth Tarot system. So there you have it. I wasn't just speaking out of the side of my mouth. So, yeah, I am very happy with this purchase. And the Gill Tarot. So, yeah, if you are familiar with the Kabbalah system, or even the Thoth system, this will be probably a really good deck for you. I do at some point want to get into the Thoth system, and I have a workbook that I got from Half Price Books a while back. And let me just adjust. Oh my gosh, I'm slipping. Okay. And I have, a book that I got from Half Price Books a while back. So I do want to get to the Thoth system at some point. But right now, I'm just working on the Rider-Waite system, and I'm just going to stick with that and focus with that for now. So I don't get all kinds of discombobulated. So, but that is it. So thank you for watching. Let me get this booklet in here because I don't want to lose it, All right. I do have some videos coming up that I'll be working on, probably sometime next week after the new year. And yeah, so again, thank you for watching and blessed be.